So sad. Hi, my special ones. Oh my god, the news has been ablaze with so much talk of racism. I can't breathe. I'm gonna call the cops. Karen, it's crazy. However, personally, I feel that calling these things racism is a little bit simplistic, or rather, should I say, calling these things racism is almost, for me, excusing these individuals, like giving them a reason for their bad behavior. I don't think these actions are born of racism as much as they're born of just individuals who are innately power hungry. History is very clear between the relationship between wanting power and being ruthless. Every great leader that you've read about who's amassed empires and kingdoms and been really great, they've all been typically ruthless. And let me tell you why I don't think it's racism. Okay, for example, if you're saying it's hatred, which is what racism is, hatred of black people, are you saying that a man who always beats his wife, or an older sibling who always bullies the younger sibling, or a terrible boss who's always mean to his staff, that they hate these people? No, I don't think they hate these people. I just think that they want power so much that they are prepared to cross the lines of what is seen as humane in order to instill fear in these people and be respected. They want to be powerful, because it's like Karen said, get that camera out of my face or I'll call the cops, aka obey me or suffer. I think at the bottom of, because not all white people are racist, you know what I mean? And calling it racism also means that someone like Karen or that policeman, if they were with their fellow white people who they deemed to be below them in status, like the people they call white trailer trash, that they would suddenly be so sweet as honey and wonderful individuals. I don't think that's true. I think anybody that they feel is below them, anybody they feel they can bully, they will try to instill fear in that person because they really are innately deep down simply power hungry. And I think that's just all it is. I think it's all about power. Now, for those of us who are sticking to the racism cover for this, what I have to say to that is, racism, especially that geared towards black people, is not going to go anywhere anytime soon until Africa is seen as working, until Africa, which is the only continent that produces black people, is seen as a prestigious place with a booming economy and good infrastructure. Why do I say this? Now, even with all this anti-Muslim sentiment going on around the world, you don't see Iranians or Iraqis or people of Saudi Arabian descent, the brown-skinned people being lynched by the police in the US. It's only black people. Why? Because I feel like deep down, white people know that even though those places have lots of wars, they're pretty rich countries with good infrastructure. They know that those people can always choose to go back home and live a wonderful life. For we in Africa, it's the opposite case. Most Africans are prepared to leave their family behind, leave everything behind, and relocate to go and live that perfect American dream. And they know this. Also add the fact that their opinion of Africa is even worse than it really is, and things here are pretty shitty as it is, you know what I mean? So I think that's where the problem lies. It's kind of like, let's bring it down to like everyday relationships. If you have a friendship or relationship with somebody who you're always acting like, I can't live without you, my whole world's about you, the possibility of that person treating you like trash are very high. Now, if you start acting like, okay, go if you want to go, I can live without you, with or without you, which you actually can, you would see your value begin to rise in that person's eye because you're giving value to yourself. And I think that's the same thing with black people. They know that where we come from, Africa, aka every black person, be you black American, black European, black Asian, black Australian, once you're black, you are from Africa. They know nobody wants to come back here. They know, it's kind of like they know that you're stuck. This is where you want to be. And I think that's why this racism geared towards black people is very high. Also, to have race equality in a democratic country where whites are the majority is going to be very hard. I was having a conversation with two filmmakers, both black, one lives in Nigeria, one lives in the US. And we're talking about how black people are getting roles in American big budget American movies now, and how the black story is being told. And the Nigerian filmmaker said, finally, the screen is representing the streets. And the US filmmaker said, actually, if the screen was to represent the streets, what's been happening before is more accurate, because whites are a majority, there are more white people. So it is more accurate to have a film with 10 white people and only one black person. Now, the whole Oscars so white and the pushback from black people is not because they want the streets and the screen to accurately be a reflection of each other, but it's just to cause a power shift, power again, so that more blacks can work in film. So like I said, I think it's about time that every black person out there collectively begins to think in your own little way, what can I do to boost the motherland, to help Africa, more so those of us who are actually Africans, who have actually lived here and are raised here. Because let me tell you something, run to Australia, run to the North Pole, anywhere you go, as long as you have this skin color, the stench of Africa will follow you, because things are a mess. Africa is not a place to be proud of. Every black person in the world, we should be ashamed of ourselves, and we can't keep on hanging on to slavery as an excuse, because that's long gone. We need to get our act right so that when you come out on an international stage and they see your black hair and your deep brown skin, they know you're African. It's something that has a pride attached to it instead of a stigma. Because right now the word Africa is derogatory in and of itself. It has a stigma and a stench that will follow every black person for the rest of their lives until Africa begins to work. Akon gave a very good suggestion. It's a long shot. I don't think it can work, but it's something to think about. He said that if most African Americans during summer come to Africa, get to know Africa, pick one country and slowly begin to work on migrating, by the time the papers are showing this opposite migration, not to America but away from America, they're going to sit down and ask themselves, why are all these people leaving? We need them. We need this manpower. We need this workforce. How do we make them not leave? Because until you give yourself value, nobody's gonna give it to you. And like I said, whites are the majority there, so they will always carry the vote. So it's left for blacks to find a way to give themselves value. So like Akon says, either you leave and say, you know what, screw you guys, I'm gonna go back to Africa, and that will now make them say, okay, how do we write into constitution? Say, okay, black people, how do we give them more jobs? How do we make them stay? They begin to want you. And then for those of us here in Africa, we really, in everybody's own little way, I know our governments have the biggest say, but in everybody's little way, we really have to start to sit down and think, yo, what can we do every day? What can we do? No matter how slow, we just clean up the trash on your house. What can I do to make Africa a place of pride and prestige? Because I'm black, so I can happily say this, Africa is a mess. And the word Africa, or the term being African, is a stigma, and it is that stigma that is affecting lots of African Americans in the US or anywhere else Africans are, or Africans who are relocated. We will always be seen as second class citizens. We will always be seen as inferior, because once they see you coming black, aka Africa, they picture up that jungle of us with trees and all that crap that they think is African. They're gonna always treat you like, who is this one? Or something like that. And even though, yes, their opinions of Africa is worse than it is, but I mean, even the reality is nothing to be proud of, and you and I can admit that. So that's what I think is the problem, why these acts of racism keep on happening in America. But deeper than it just being racism, I think that these individuals who are guilty of this thing, I think it's just a power, it's a power thing. That's why I gave that example of bringing to the family unit the husbands and wife. I think deep down, some people are just so power hungry, just want to, in their own little position, just want to exert so much power. That's why sometimes you go to an office and the receptionist is nastier to you than the boss you actually came to see, because she wants to be seen, she wants to be recognized, she wants power, she wants for once to say, sit down there and wait, which is not something she gets to do always. So I think it's also for we as individuals to also quiet our ego and not always feel this need to want to instill fear and bully and oppress other people, because there is a Karen in us, or there is that piece of us sometimes where we're like, you don't do what I say, I will do it too, I won't help you. If you don't do what I say, I won't help you. That is your inner Karen coming out. So it's really important for us to check ourselves, look in the mirror, check ourselves and realize that nobody is God. You know what I mean? People don't need to be bowing down and worshiping you. No matter who you are, nobody is God. And at the end of the day, you don't know tomorrow. That person you're hating on could just be the person who's gonna save your life tomorrow. That's my success. Always remember to practice your empathy, and empathy means if you don't want someone to do to you, don't do it to another person, because it's not nice. Always approach situations with understanding and open mind, and always remember that I love you.